Alright, what's poppin', people? It's B-Dog here, back with the second discussion or analysis part 2 of the Xenoblade 3 Direct. If you want to see the first one, I do have it. It's out, and yeah, let's just start with the second one. So I'm gonna start off with obviously the world of Ionios. Um, Now right here, this is like Senna and Mio, like she's carrying Mio. Calls her Mimi, which is really nice. The character interactions are probably gonna be real good in this game, given with this scene. And the way how Mio's ears light up is just so good. Like we're gonna take a look at that real quick. Come on, perk up, perk up. See? Like, oh, look at that. That's so nice to see that. Um, but we're gonna get on with the world here. I got Eager Aegis Wilderness. Was this seems to be here to Bionis leg, the Galar Plains, piece of that. With mixed with Gormont, there's what we've seen, and then we got this area here. We're not sure what this is yet, but we're just gonna move along. Here's the Air Sea mixed with Lytheria Archipelago. We also got this big fortress here, which seems to be a part of Agnes. We're not really sure. And then we also have the Bionis' head right here. This pointy thing right there. And we have this area. This is a new area we've never seen before. It could be Sataro Marsh mixed with something else from 2, but it's really hard to say what it is. Uh-huh. Yes, yes. And a new feature we have in this game is that groups of enemies can fight each other now. So that's gonna be real cool to see. Like, that's good environment and world building type things going on here with like all the enemies attacking each other. So now I can sit back and watch these enemies fight each other and then jump in and like finish them off. Like, that's a really cool feature this game has in it. And here they're at the Great Sword's base, so it seems this is close to the midway point of the game because there's a level 42 monster here. So this is probably, yeah, the near the Bionosaur or Mechanosaur, I'm sorry. And we have this snowy area. This is probably Valak Mountain mixed with Tantal, I'd assume, given with all the snow here. There's no crystals though. Then we have Gonzalez sleeping over here. This isn't the mobile one, but this is one that's just sleeping, and you could fight at level 46. Wonder how that would go. Okay, and we got more enemies fighting each other, which is again another good feature. Now we have the colonies here. Now this is gonna be an interesting feature because they act as the cities in the game. And we see here we got the little Furanis flame clocks gauge right here. So I wonder if there's gonna be some kind of mechanic with it. It's probably is, because why else would you show it? Um, Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe from the tweets and the information out there, they have said that if a Furanis hits 0, all the people within the colony dies. So I'm curious how this mechanic would work. Do you have to do the side quest to keep it afloat or something like that, or is it story progression of some kind? It's really tough to say right now what these flame clocks are gonna mean, and when it hits 0 in the main game. And another point is how, or is the party able to just pull up in these colonies, and they're already fugitives to both nations? That's gonna be an interesting thing to wonder how why are they allowed in to do what they please. So we're gonna skip around a little bit here. So we got the confirmation that the affinity system is back, and that's pretty cool because some people didn't like the one in the first game, but I don't mind the affinity system like that. I just hope it's better and the quests are a lot better in this game. But there's gonna be a point here I want to make about the quest in just a second. So here we got the rest spots. I think this is where we're gonna see the heart to hearts. So they're gonna be a part of the campsite, like Torna, because the heart to heart symbol is there for these camps. So we're obviously gonna be seeing how they interact at the camps. We can see Tyon pouring Uni some a cup of tea or something like that. We also have Senna and Lance working out, and Lance is having a hard time, and she's over here enjoying it, that she's beating him. And we have these two vibing with each other, just playing the flutes together, and they clearly haven't switched flutes with each other yet. So this is some interesting moments we're going to see these characters with each other during these camps. They seem to be pretty happy doing it too. Um, but here we have some gameplay stuff to some important things. So we have cooking as a mechanic within the game. So we have EXP boosts and CP boosts. So we're going to be getting multiple effects with this, right? I'd assume that obviously the CP is going to be very important because you're going to want to level up your classes as fast as possible. And here you can use Nopon coins just in case if you don't want to use your ingredients, you want to save them for another time. Now we don't know how you get these Nopon coins. Maybe through doing side quests or something like that. Um, and here we got more meal effects like enemy drop boost, 15%, so you're gonna get more drop rates from the enemy, and collectible boost. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's some kind of collection point because they haven't really went over how you get items around the world yet, or maybe this has to do with the supply drop later that they have. And we had the CP boost, the 15%. Now we have this chart like thing for crafting for the gems. So I'm curious how that's gonna work. We obviously still need certain certain ingredients to make these gems, and we're also gonna need ether cylinders. But what's interesting here is we have a different kind of Nopon coin for the cooking. It was blue. This one's gold. So we're gonna get Nopon coins for different functions for what we need them for crafting and things like that. So obviously this is attack, defense, support, and I'm not sure what the star means. If you think you know what the star means, say it in the comments below. But I'm not sure what the star is gonna be, and so this is how we're gonna be crafting. I wonder how these different um, little gem spots are gonna be different from each other. Because this first one they have targeted here is attack by 20 and steel cleaver 1, which that could just be the level of the furnace. So here's what's interesting about the quest. So what we got here is the party. What seems to be happening is they're going to be discussing about quests, or they're going to talk to people in the world about quests. And then once you come to the camp, you could sit down and talk about what quests should we take on and things like that. That's an interesting take on for quest in this game. It's going to be different than just pulling up to someone, talking to them. Like instead, you'll get some information and you'll go straight to the camp and be like, "Hey, so this is what we could deal with right now if we want to. Let's see if we want to take it on." So that would be really cool, and maybe get some different dialogue options when we pick certain quests if they want to take it. So here we got more looks at the areas. Great Kate Falls. So I'm not sure where this is, or well, we know where it is, but I don't know what it's based on. So here we got the supply drops. Now what is this place right here? We don't really know. This could be something with the consoles potentially. Not really sure, but I want to focus on the supply drop. So I'm curious how the supply drop is gonna work. Maybe if you're friendly enough with these colonies, they'll help you out sometimes by giving you supply drops that you could get for items, or you steal them from some of the armies of the Keves and Agnes soldiers, which is another possibility. But here it seems two party members are going to be opening it at the same time. We got the confirmation of super bosses here, as we can see here at level 91, or what we just saw there, a level 100 monster. And this is in the Agnes Castle, which is going to be a place in the game. We did see that earlier in the trailer from my first part of my analysis. We did see the Agnes Castle, and it was where Noah and Eunice Ouroboros were fighting each other for some reason. So that seems to be the case. That's going to be really cool that we're going to be seeing. This is probably where Nia is, by the way. So here's something interesting here. We got Danug Desert, however you say that. So This is a Torna area, and why is it here in Xenoblade 3? The place was destroyed in Xenoblade 2, so that's weird. This adds to the theory that this world potentially isn't really the future like we think it is. It's like maybe it's some other universe of some kind mixed with the 1 and 2 elements, maybe. But that's another video for another time. We're gonna move on. So what else we got here? So they didn't go over field skills, but we know field skills are in the game. What we can see here is this is the Urian tunnels. So they're in the Urian area right now. Probably the wastelands of it. And so here we have Erithia. They kind of named it differently. C. And what we see off here is there's a building right here. Maybe it's some kind of church, potentially, of some kind. We don't really know. They also didn't go over vehicles, but I suspect we're going to get more than just a boat in this game, because it seems like they're not going to go over every mechanic in the game. As we can see, we got landmarks back, and this is the new UI. The new UI looks really good, as per usual. Now we're going to get into the gameplay here. So obviously, engage the enemy. We already know this. We already know about arts, but I want to look at this because this is the first time we're really seeing Tayon's arts. So we have Overfall, which is Ether Defense Down. We have Stormy Skies, which is the AoE heal. And then we have Hazy Figure, which is the Invasion Up. So he's going to be focusing on buffing the party a lot rather than healing, which is fine. And then we have Tidal Wave that's going to heal all the people on your team. So yeah, he's going to be basically a buff debuff kind of class. That could be somewhat useful for the party. Obviously, we already knew about her arts here, but we already know about, now we have the archetypes about attackers doing most of the damage, defenders, and then supports. And so yeah, we already know about this. I want to focus on here with this Mighty Beat, because this is a class we haven't seen before. It has AoE high aggro and it does smash, and we got the confirmation that smash is indeed in the game. So it's a diamond art, so it's from the Agnes side. It seems to be a shield, and a hammer is probably a defense type class. It's not Xeon. And we have chain attacks back. Obviously, they work a little different here. So now now we have chain orders, and depending on what you choose, you're going to get different effects. So for lands, you're going to get increased defender aggro. So the aggro is just going to go up if you use this after it's completed. And for Noah, we have Brave Assault, which is just going to be attacks during a chain attack. Gain 70% chance to bypass the defense. So obviously you're going to want to pick and choose which orders you want. Now how is the chain orders going to be determined? We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see once we get the game in our hands. Or maybe the Xenoblade JP will go over that. Okay, and so we have the tactical points here. So you want to build it up all the way up to get the finisher, to get the damage percentage higher. So how you can do that? I'd assume you probably want to do maybe a high one, then a low one, and another low one, then maybe a higher one. Try and get the most points you can to get your finisher, because yeah, he only got up to 250%. There's going to be ways to get a higher percentage. So you have the different classes, and I like how this is sort of like incorporated in the game's story or lore and things like that. How the characters can switch classes, and they also have this bionic eye that got implanted in them since they're artificially grown, so we think. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, we could get different classes here. I do think Lands is going to be the worst class out of the main 6. Personally, just because it's so slow. Now, the healing class itself could be useless, potentially, only because of the master arts and things like that, which we'll go over that in a second. Also, look, he has mad taunt. That's like the worst. That's gonna be like the worst talent art. Like, what's the point? Like, I'm already gonna be doing a bunch of damage and stuff. Um, Also, we got a confirmation of what this is. An ogre, like out here being Shrek. Like what? Like that's crazy. Like man, the Senna's class is gonna be cool though. It should be fun. Do a lot of damage. And she's doing mad damage. Um, so obviously everybody's gonna have different classes. But I want to point out how the animations of each character is gonna be different. So Tyon, when he's a sword fighter, he looks to be a bit more clumsy when he's using air slash. So that's gonna be cool because some characters gonna have stylish ways how they use a certain class. Some are gonna be real awkward, or some weapons are gonna be too heavy for them. That's gonna be a nice, interesting detail they have for it. So we got master arts, so that means obviously when you level up your class enough, you can use arts from the classes you were using into the master art selection. So obviously we have level 20, you could get another one. And question mark, that's probably gonna be as you progress through the story, like how you did in Xenoblade 2, to get your third blade option. You know, and here we have what seems to be a potential character that could be a hero, and I'll explain why a little later, because we will see it again as to why. And here we got Uni as a as a heavy guard, and it looks like the sword's real heavy for her compared to Lance and Senna, since they're both really strong. Um, but here we have a new art here that's a diamond art. It's called Way Home Burst, and it seems to be looking like Mikhail's weapon. Now we don't know what the burst effect does exactly. Actually, you know what? It seems the burst launched him without, because it didn't say he was launched. He was dazed. So maybe you want to use burst while the enemy is dazed potentially. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. So here we have the master arts and the regular arts combined together into fusion arts. And so what that's going to be is when you use like sword strike, it's going to have the side break along with the invade along with it, or air slash, it's going to have the attack cancel with knockback added to it. So this game's going to offer a lot of customization for your characters, and that's very good because that's going to make the combat very fun. This might be the best Xenoblade combat we'll get given how the game is. Next up we have the heroes. So we have Ashira. So she's going to be like a DPS tank. She's going to do a lot of damage given how her rank is for that class. She seems to be a mix of Ryan and Charlotte. And she looks pretty cool. I'm excited for her. We have Valdi, the War Medic, or whatever it was called. I don't really care about that support class. Now, Fiona, she has her class is like, has random effects to the party and stuff like that. And that could be fun to mess around with, but it probably won't be a good, optimal, reliable setup for your party. So, I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, you can roll with it. But I probably won't. Now this class, oh boy, nice little butt action here. But we got Alexandria here. She's Inquisitor. That class relies on high crit rate and damage. That's probably the best class that has been shown so far. And next we're gonna have a character. It's gonna come up soon. We have Gray. Now what's interesting about him is his weapon does not have a clock on it. And we don't know what that means. He could just not be a part of the nations, potentially. He could be a part of the Lost Numbers. We don't really know. And his class is called, I think, Full Metal Jacket, which is in Xenoblade X, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have a Machina we don't know about. We already know about Xeon. And we knew about Jupiter. We have an Indol character here, so he's going to be a part of Agnes. And here we have the hero selection. Now we have a blurred out section here that could be some people think it's Ethel. It could be, but I don't think so. I think Ethel's a little too obvious that she's gonna be a hero. Also, there's no blue remnants of her, so I don't think that's her. But obviously here we see the ranks. So obviously her attack is real good, and so is her defense, but her HP is poor. But she's still gonna do a lot of damage. You know, she's gonna take hits well with low HP. That's pretty interesting how that's gonna work. Obviously, they're part of the chain orders and stuff like that. Whistling blades, yeah, that class is gonna be very broken. Like, look how much damage that does. That did a lot of damage. Now here we have the class selection, so it's confirmed you can change your party members to these different classes. And they'll adopt a different outfit. And yeah, with the different ranks here, we have all the different ranks. Like I mentioned, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, how Ashira is gonna have high attack and good defense, and her attack's gonna be really good, but her defense and everything else isn't gonna be great. But her support is. I don't know how that's gonna work. We'll have to wait and see. But we have these silhouettes here, and I'm pretty sure this silhouette is a defense, and then we have 2 attacks here. But this character is probably that Lost Numbers character that they ran into. This is probably Kamaravi, it looks like the little flames, and he has that little bun hairstyle looking thing here. And this is that mechanical big robot thing I think that we saw fighting earlier. So I guess we'll see a party ride in something like that. That's gonna be interesting to see how that works as a mechanic, especially since it's an attack. We're gonna see the characters ride in a mech. It's the closest thing we'll get to a Skell, even though the Ouroboros is kind of a Skell already. Obviously, we don't know the effects of the arts of like Juniper's thing. And here we're gonna go over to Ouroboros, which is the last part of this discussion. But I did want to point out something here. This cutscene is gonna come up in just a second. Come on, we ain't got all day. So we got Van Damme on the ground, so something happened to them. I don't know if he got knocked out or he's injured or something, but we got Wild Ride here, D, approaching them about to fight. Obviously, the party's bickering at each other. And we have the first time we see a Ouroboros. So yeah, the Ouroboros seems to be a powerful tool. I don't know why they're doing this such low damage right now. It could be because they didn't upgrade it enough. Because the person who's playing this Ouroboros seems weak. Oops. So here we got the confirmation that the Agnes characters will be getting their own forms. We're gonna see Senna's first, which seems to resemble, if you know Emerald from Xenogears, it resembles her gear in that game. I have a picture of that up on the screen. So it resembles that, and then Mio's, we're gonna see it in just a second. Well, we should probably talk about Tyons because they confirmed here that you're gonna upgrade him through SP points. But Tyons look really cool. I don't know what it's based on, but his looks really nice. I like all the Agnes's forms. They look really good. Here we got Mio's looking like Cosmos over here, which I have another picture of that up on the screen. It looks like Cosmos a lot, but there's something I missed here, and it's about the arts here. So the arts are circle arts even for the Agnes characters, so I wonder how you're going to refill the arts in here. Could you just use them however much you want? If that's the case, that these forms might be a little broken. Right? I don't know. It's gonna something. Now obviously, getting back to this though, obviously with the chain order, you did 592% of damage, but it doesn't look like it does much here at all, which is kind of weird. Probably a terrible build this person who's playing is running, which is possible, but that's pretty much it for last part of this game, besides these cutscenes, which we could look at a little bit here. So obviously we got like an Agnes fortress. That was Kamaravi's mech that seems to be there. We have Nia showing up again. They really did not go over like the older characters, like Melia or Nia. We know nothing about them, so they're waiting for the game to come out for you to find out something about them, which is good because probably gonna be a big surprise once we find out what's going on with these two. Now we see Noah and Mio get shot at by something, along with Lons and Senna's Ouroboros form getting shot at. So this is where Uni and Tyon turn into their Ouroboros form for the first time. And we see Senna approaching Kamaravi and Ethel here. We got Mio crying for some reason. Maybe Noah's gonna come for her like how Senna wanted him to. We also got one of the council members, Xeon, seems to be fighting. Oh boy, there's that thing again. Oh man. And so we got D here fighting what seems to be, yeah, Mio. We had Lons there fighting too. Yeah, we know nothing about the council members at all. But the last point that we could go over is the expansion pass. So obviously we're getting more content for the game throughout this year and next year, which is kind of obvious. But we have this expansion pass picture now. This could resemble, like how Torna was with its expansion pass. It had the symbol of like it resembled Torna a little bit, and so this could be hinting at for its story expansion, either that or the heroes. And maybe for the heroes we get Shulk and Rex, or Pyra, something like that. But I think it's the story scenario where that's where we're gonna see them return. Now, how's that gonna work? Not sure. We'll have to play the game and figure out how if it's gonna be some kind of prequel or some kind of future game or epilogue to the game. We'll have to wait and see when the expansion pass come out. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for me. Thanks for watching. That's it for my direct analysis for Xenoblade 3. If you enjoyed, hit the like and subscribe button, and do leave a comment. I would like to hear your thoughts on this, and yeah, I'll catch you later. Peace.